Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you tonight on Mindful Talk with Amber. And today I have a candidate with me who has decided to run for the second ward, which is my ward as well, Eddie Gonzalez. Thank you, Eddie, for joining us tonight on Channel 52.
Hi, Amber. I really appreciate the opportunity to communicate with the community about my candidacy. It's an honor to be on your show. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I have invited Christina Tone, which is his campaigning manager. And I thought that it was important to hear from the person who works side by side so we get to know more about him. So thank you, Christina, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
So we're just gonna dig in and start talking about. So Eddie, I know you personally from quite some time. You know, I'm an educationalist, and I have a special respect towards people who are linked with education. And you are a president of NJCDC, and you're a president of Puerto Rican, I think,
Puerto
parade.
Rican.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just a correction. I'm the special assistant to the CEO of NJCDC.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that. And then again, you're a president of Hillcrest Neighbor Association. That's where I personally, met you. So please introduce other things because I know let our viewers hear from you what you have to share with us about yourself.
Absolutely. So, one again, I really do want to take the opportunity to thank you and your show and everyone who supports good programming. This is a program that I know has been going on for many years. It's an honor to be here, and I do want to communicate my candidacy to the Bangladeshi community, but to everybody as well. Why this is a very important election, not just for us locally here in Patterson, but obviously nationally. And it does trickle down. It does trickle down to our local economics, local finances. It does trickle down to why community residents, voters need to come out to vote. It's important, it's crucial. My name is Eddie Gonzalez. I am born and raised in the city of Patterson. It's a pleasure to have been working with so many people throughout my career as a professional here, working at NJCDC, this stands for New Jersey Community Development Corporation. And our motto is to transform lives. And we do that by serving people each and every day. We serve about 4,000 people and families every single day through many programs that we offer from school, after school program. We are in the real estate business, so we purchase real estate to transform it into something positive. We have real estate that apartments for homeless, kids growing out of the foster care system, grandparents raising their grandchildren. Some of the facilities are used for a preschool or a charter school, and so I am blessed to have so many um, responsibilities because I get to then use that experience to better the city of Patterson that I love so much. Like I said, I was born and raised here, I went to school here, and I have been part of this community, the fabric of this community, of the second ward, and many of the other wards as well growing up. I've served on the planning board in the city of Patterson, appointed by the previous mayor. I was the vice chairman of the Patterson Planning Board. I've served as a commissioner on the Board of Education, elected in 2010 by the residents of Patterson. I've played a role in so many different things within the public school system. I served as the co-chair of the five-year facilities plan, which oversaw the evaluation of all the 52 schools in the city of Patterson to improve it. Um, so I've done my part. I did 7 years as a board member of the prestigious nonprofit called the Patterson Education Fund, where we advocate for students and advocate for funding for our educational system. And I have this experience, and I want to bring this to Patterson. I just want to continue to improve our ward. I think that there's a lot that I can bring to the table.
Wow, awesome. A huge range of experiences that you have covering throughout. And I actually personally did not know about the CDC providing the foster care services and grandparent services, which in itself is an amazing platform to, help grandparents. So, Christina, I wanted to actually ask you that what made you decide help Eddie, and how long do you know him?
But I've known Eddie since maybe about 5 years ago, since 2014, 15. It's gonna be almost 6 years. And I guess since the day I met him, I actually I was a part of a community group, actually Peruvian, because I was born and raised in Peru. So I was helping a nonprofit, and we came to NJCDC because we were looking for a place for an immigration program that we needed a space, and we came here, and that's how I met him. I had a conversation. I was, fascinated with everything that NJCDC did, and was help how I was helping the community, and then we met probably 2 or 3 times, and I just, you can't really, once you come and you get to know the organization, you really want to be part of it. You want to be part of the everything that everyone here is doing, especially, Eddie, Bob, and Bob Garachi, who's also, who's the president of the organization. So, I wanted to help, and that's how I met him. And, how he was passionate about everything that he was doing made me realize that this was a place for me. And now it's like my home. So that's, I've been working with him for, 5 years, and it's just impossible to stop what we're doing.
It's amazing when you have somebody, it's like a real companionship. What she said, it's like a home. So what can you get better than this? This shows that how much you both have built a relationship, and that actually proves the point that you are a person who believes in relationships. Um, so, Christina, I know that a little bit about you is you're a neighborhood help center assistant director and housing counselor and specialist for
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 sure.
okay,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so, excuse me, we have a couple of audience with us right now. We have Mariam Salim, we have Evelyn, we have Franklin Ramirez, and he's saying vote for Eddie Gonzalez. You know, so I'm gonna dig in. Eddie, what made you decide to run for second ward?
So I ran for the second ward once before. I obviously wasn't victorious. A lot of people encouraged me to do so. I didn't run for the previous election. This is a special election here in Patterson, and I didn't put my name in the first time because, I don't necessarily need the position of a council person to do the things that I do. I do it every day because I love it. I mean, I've been doing this for over 12 years. And what does that mean? That means that I contribute in many different ways, whether it's recreation, whether it's parks and services. We were able to build over 12 playgrounds, which I led in the city of Patterson. I believe we did every single school in the second ward. So if your child goes to a school in the second ward, and they have a playground, that was us. And I say us because I did that under the leadership of Barbara Rashi, but it was part of our community outreach department that I created here in the organization. And what we did is that we communicated with community members to get ideas how we can improve the neighborhood. And one of the things 10 years ago was that parents didn't have safe places to go to play with their kids or allow their kids to play and meet other neighbors. So part of the mission that I decided to do and having a vision and seeing our ward, our neighborhood that much better, I said, well, I think we need to build some playgrounds, obviously, and who better to do it with in partnership than with the school. The school has the place, it has the lot, and most of our kids are in the school system anyway. So we partnered with them and we were able to accomplish about 12 to 13 different playgrounds in the city of Patterson, mostly in the second ward. And we finished all the schools in the second ward, so we went to others. But why am I running? I'm
Yeah.
running because at this point, our taxes are way too high. And when I had the opportunity to put my name in the ballot once the special election was announced, and once it announced that it was going to become in November, I had an opportunity to put my name in. And I really thought about it long and hard. And I consulted with some people who encouraged me to do so because they knew that I can bring something very different from the community to the table, some capacity that I don't think we have at this very moment. I think that the city really needs some help. If you watch our council meetings today, it's nothing short of what we saw at the presidential debate. Okay, people actually have compared it to the presidential debate, which it wasn't really a debate. And I think that we're tired of that. I think it's time for everyone, all of our communities, to say, you know what, taxes are too high,
Mhm.
crime is too high. We're tired of seeing President Trump and others, tear into Patterson and say that we're a corrupt city with fraudulent mail-in ballots and division and things of that nature. And I think if there wasn't a better time, the time is now to get involved and try to provide some assistance to the council as well as the administration to move the city forward. And if we really want change to happen, it starts with your vote. And that's why I wanted to give the Bangladeshi community an opportunity to have an alternative option. If you do not feel that the previous two candidates who represented us for the past 4 and 8 years are one of your options, and then I want to present myself and hopefully work with you moving forward to build a Bangladeshi community, all sides, bring them together as we did when we constructed the Shahid Minar Monument in Westside Park. It was a very special project to myself and this organization, and the idea came from the community. So being an elected official is not about what you say, but is about how much you can listen to the community and understand what the needs are. It's not what I want for Patterson, it's what the community needs in Patterson. And I think I've proven that my experience can actually bring real change to our ward.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that about Shahid Minar because many of us don't know that it was your organization behind helping Shahid Minar, and it's a very patriotic and emotional platform for us Bangladeshis. And just I'm gonna reiterate in Bangla that আমাদের কিন্তু আমরা এটা জানি না যে the আসল organizationটা কে ছিল behind the funding of Shahid Minar. So it's important to know that. Um, Christina, question from you. What do you think makes Eddie different from other candidates? I know you
Um,
work with him day and night. You know his ins and outs. So
well, he's someone with a lot of experience working with the community, experience with, um, you know, uh, he was born and raised here, so he knows, he knows Patterson. He knows what families are going through. Been working for this organization every day, all day long. We just, we get to be close to the families, to the kids, to the students. So he knows what's going on. So definitely, I mean, I believe in his vision. I believe in everything that he does, and this is why I'm here with him.
it's not just the looks.
No, no. He's young, handsome, smart. He's a family man. He loves his family, his kids, his wife, beautiful wife. So I admire him a lot, and this is why I'm with him. I wouldn't be here if I don't, I guess I was also a single mom, and I raised my kid by myself, and so I know how difficult it is to live in this neighborhood. So and I know he's there to make change. He's here to work for the community.
Okay. So my next question, Eddie, is to you that your platform. If you can explain something about your platform.
Yeah, I mean, my platform comes with a plan, and that's the number one thing. Every every candidate has a platform, and you put down the things that you feel are important to you to address with the community. But what's more important is how, right? So a lot of people will say, well, safety is a problem, crime is a problem. Absolutely, crime is a problem. The fifth grader at school five understands that crime is a problem. The questions that the community needs to ask is how are you going to address these problems? And I haven't heard or seen in the past 4 to 8 years any changes that actually made it better. I was just recently endorsed by the National Constables and Marshal Association, I'm very close with law enforcement. There's good cops. I know everything going on in this nation and in this country with all the movements and things like that. But at the end of the day, there's good cops. There's some that are not so good. But having a relationship with all the respective bodies, the respective agencies, the respective branches of government, with the administration and city hall and all the various departments that they have, having key relationships is what matters, because a council person's responsibility is legislative, meaning that they have authority when they're at the city council and they propose resolutions and pass resolutions that improve the city or are supposed to improve the city. But the administration has the executive authority to authorize department heads to do certain things like pave a road, put up signs via DPW, issue police to certain wards. That's the administration that has that ultimate say. But when you have a relationship with people in those various departments, they will help you. And the key thing here is having relationships. And you said this earlier about Christina, getting hooked with our organization because we understand that we do good work and we do good work for the people, and having relationships matter.
Mhm.
That's something that I feel that a lot of people, when I go door to door, don't have with previous candidates. They don't even know who the previous candidate was. And it's 4 and 8 years that have passed. They still don't know who the previous candidates were. So how can they be represented? That means that they haven't been spoken to, they haven't been given resources, opportunities, there's no communication, roads are not being taken care of, all the problems that they have are ongoing, ongoing, ongoing. And I say to myself, how much longer, with the high taxes and everything that we pay for, how much longer are we, the voters, are going to allow this to happen? So that's why I decided to run. And I think you asked Christina a question about what is different from me and the other candidates. And I
Mhm.
respect all the other candidates, because let me tell you something. Anybody who's willing to run for a council seat here in the city of Patterson, I'm sure has a plan that they feel or think is going to be good for the community. But if you don't know how to implement that plan, if you don't have the relationships to implement that plan, you're going to get the same thing you got 4 years ago, 8 years ago, which is very little to nothing. And I think it's time for us to see some real positive improvements. And I think we can make that happen.
So, what makes you different than the other candidates?
So I think I bring, and I'm going to focus on the proven experience, not just experience, but proven experience. Because I can promise you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do
We
that.
got that already.
We hear that every single election, whether it's Board of Education, council, mayor, all the way up to presidency, is a bunch of promises. And what happens? Nothing. I think that everything that I represent, I had participated in already, had done the work already, and I know how to do the work as a council person on day one. Elect me as a councilman. I don't need any training. Obviously, we all can learn from each other, but I come prepared. I come prepared, ready to make things happen. I think that I am the only candidate that has the experience of serving on the planning board. For those who don't know what the planning board's responsibility is to approve and evaluate all the contracts that have to do with redevelopment in the city of Patterson. So when you have developers coming into the city of Patterson that would like to develop or improve their property, you have to really know what the laws are that
Mhm.
allows you to do certain things, right? So as a city council person, when you have some of these resolutions before you and you don't really understand real estate, if you really don't understand zoning, if you really
Right.
don't understand contracts, blueprints, how can you vote? How can you vote if you're not even communicating those questions at city council meetings? At city council meetings, you just hear a lot of back and forth at this time. So there's nothing really productive. I come with that experience. We have built millions of dollars of real estate in the city of Patterson, especially around this area for great purposes, like I mentioned before, for people who really need it, the most vulnerable people. And I've had the pleasure of working from the ground up, from bringing down a building to working with blueprints, architects, landscape architects. We build parks, we build plazas, we build so many different things. So I have that experience as a not only as working for an organization as a developer, but also as a planning board member, a vice chairman at that, to oversee some of these projects, and no one else can say that in the city council as far as candidates. Also, none of my other competitors have ever served on the board of education, another body of government, serving the kids of our system. Over about 30,000 children, 52 schools. I also served as a co-chair. Even after I left the commission, I still served as a co-chair of the 5-year facilities plan committee. Now, what that does is every 5 years, the state mandates the school district to evaluate the schools, figure out what's wrong with the schools, how to upgrade it, how to bring it up to date. They wouldn't select me as a co-chairperson if I wasn't experienced, if I wasn't capable to run meetings with 60 other professionals in the field. Um, I don't think any of my other candidates can say that. So there's so many other things like that. I support playgrounds and recreation. Again, building 12 playgrounds, 13 playgrounds, because I understand that recreation is important for mental health, physical health, family, bringing communities together is so symbolic. And then making so many so that you don't have to drive to a park, you can actually walk to a park.
Absolutely.
Um,
And then there's zoning involved in it too, as you just said.
Absolutely. So this touches on a lot of different things. My son plays baseball for the Patterson Old Timers League here in the city of Patterson. I sponsored the whole league. I paid for so many things, uniforms, bats, and everything else. I sponsored soccer programs. We just did the FC Inter Championship tournament at the Buckley Park on Chamberlain Avenue. So I'm a big supporter of bringing youth the opportunity to play, the opportunity to become part of something bigger. Um, Sorry, and I just think that recreation can needs a boost in funding, needs a boost in making sure that those who love soccer and want to play soccer, that we create more fields for the soccer players, that we utilize indoor soccer. We have facilities at the schools and other places that we can incorporate. We have 52 schools in the city of Patterson. In partnership with the city, we should be able to utilize some of these schools to open the doors to our youth. We don't have enough fields to play soccer, but we should start looking at how do we make more multi-purpose fields so that it accommodates both football and baseball, but as well as soccer. Soccer is an international sport,
It
and
is.
it's the largest international sport played, and we're behind. We're really behind. We can go to Clifton, Fairlawn, so many other places, and they have fields ready for this because they understand. They understand that this is important. This brings communities together.
Yeah.
I understand that we have our a league, the FC Inter Championship, but then your community, the Bangladeshi community, has theirs. Why not play each other? Why not collaborate and make a big reunion out of this? And that's how you promote soccer. And that's how you promote the need for more fields. That's how you promote the funding because there's people behind it that support it. You need to be a thinker, a listener, and start um, holding people accountable who can make these things happen. Now, that's what a council person does. Not divides the community, not fight with other council members on things, not fight with the administration every single time. That's not going to get us anywhere. We're tired of that. I'm tired of that. I pay so much in taxes. I have a single family home. I don't have any other income coming in from that property. I pay $12,000. I'm tired of seeing the streets the way they are. I'm tired of seeing the lights out. I'm tired of seeing the parks filthy. No matter how much we try to fix, and the maintenance needs to be there. And I give a lot of credit to DPW. They do a great job with the power and machinery that they have, but we have to invest in that department as well. We have to invest in the people of Patterson, make sure the people of Patterson are getting these jobs, that they're well trained and supported, that they're not furloughed like what could have just happened. It was a threat of a furlough. Are you kidding me? We're gonna furlough our Patterson residents who are homeowners who are paying so much in taxes. Would that even be an option? That can't be an option. That cannot be an option.
Mhm.
So this is the reason I'm running. There's so many other things that I want to support. Stabilizing taxes. Stabilizing everything is okay. We need more money, so let the taxpayers pay for it. Let the homeowners pay for it. Why? Why can't we get creative and decide how to, seek new grants, new opportunities, new shared service agreements with the county and other towns? There's so many things we can do. And my experience in that is working in this organization is that we live off of grants. We live and breathe off of grants. That's what we do.
Yeah.
It's out there. You just have to know how to look for it.
Correct.
And that's the experience that I don't think any of my other candidates can bring. And we survived, for so long because we're able and capable enough to bring new money into the city.
Okay, so I know we're getting very close to our time, but as a Bangladeshi community, Leon, my question to you, which is kind of a last question, that um, where do you see the relationship going with the Bangladeshi community? Because,
Uh, you broke up a little bit. Where do I see what?
so the relationship with Bangladeshi community.
So the relationship currently, as it states, is obviously divided. I am lucky enough to have friends on both sides, um, and I believe that we will work together to bring them together. I've always said it. This position doesn't change anything, and I don't use this opportunity to further divide. I want this opportunity to show the Bangladeshi community that I don't need to be Bangladeshi or from the community or speak the language to support you. When I was on the planning board, I was one of the ones who defended the mosque when they wanted to build the mosque and or renovate the mosque on Van Houten. So the historic commission here in the city of Patterson wasn't in favor of it. When it came before the planning board, I spoke very vocally about that and showed my support, and that gained other votes on the board as well to get that done. As a Patterson Youth Council member, or rather as a mentor for 12 years, I mentored over 300 youth in this organization in the city of Patterson. A lot of them, maybe 20-25% of the Bangladeshi community, helping them get into college, universities, Harvard, Columbia University, Penn State. So I've done a lot for the Bangladeshi community, and the Shaheen Minar Monument, being part of that project, was just fulfilling because I saw that in February when everyone went to celebrate the mother language, that I participated in, and I saw the skits of the students that did the show at Kennedy High School. I've been there. I sat and broke bread with the community, and I think that those things are what we need to focus on so we can bring the community back together. Politics divide, it really does. And sometimes you need somebody from the outside to tell you that, and someone from the outside to assist and bring people together. And I rely on my relationships again. I rely on my relationship with members of both sides of the community so that if I am elected, God willing, that I will sit with those individuals because they're level headed, they're willing to talk to me and help me understand further how we can bring both sides together. Some people don't want to see that happen, but I believe that's the minority. I think that people overall would like to see peace once and for all.
Yeah, beautifully said. Beautifully, as you said, peace has its own power, and it's time to get together, collaborate, and we are here together. Our kids are gonna raise here, grow up together. We play together, and that's the right way to collaborate. It's time to put the differences on side. Having said that, Christina, you want to reiterate anything? Last comment?
We're here to unite, to change, to move forward, and he's here for that. So definitely, we love Bangladeshi community, and we work with them every day. So we're here to help them, and we're gonna continue the fight. We're gonna change the city.
Thank you, Christina. Eddie, in your last words, and we are going to be coming back again. The next episode is going to be, more personal. I'm not going to say it right now. People will see it.
Yeah, I first want to thank you once again, Amber, for allowing us to give our message to the Bangladeshi community, to everyone, because it's important. It's very important. You might think you have to vote for someone who you supported in the past. This is a vote by mail. It should be private. Vote your conscience. Vote for your kids. Look at your kids and say, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna vote the right person for you because you're the one who's gonna have to deal with the consequences later. Let's not waste another 4 years of problems and fighting. Let's finally fix it, and I am the person that can do that for you. I don't make a lot of promises that I can't keep because I keep all my promises. I have proven experience to prove everything that I say that I'm fighting for. We're going to improve safety. We're going to improve the streets. We're going to improve the Department of Public Works with their recycling garbage. We're going to work with increasing staff, make sure the staff are Pattersonians that are trained and well prepared, making sure that the department is equipped. making sure that the council members begin to work more collaboratively than they have in the past, and eliminating someone who is just going to be a rubber stamp for anybody, but someone who can really understand the resolutions and not only just, I need to say this, I'm sorry, but not just read a resolution, but you have to understand a resolution. And I don't just want to read someone else's resolution. My goal is to write the resolutions because that's a creator. I will create resolutions because the people need resolutions passed that are favorable to the city residents and the taxpayers. I'm here. I'm here. Vote for I. Vote for I on the column come this election and vote by mail. And don't give it to anybody. Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't give it to anybody. Vote by mail. Put it in the ballot, your local ballot. By the way, in case the community doesn't know, there is a drop box in front of 401 Grant Street, the Black Federal County building on Grant Street. You can put your vote inside the drop box, which looks like a mailbox. It's specifically for your votes. Please go and vote. Encourage other people to go out and vote. And don't forget, Eddie Gonzalez sent this message.
Yeah, I actually, I know I said that we're finishing our time, but I do want to talk about this important message you just talked about, a vote in ballot. If you can please explain our viewers, because our viewers are high right now, and I want to take this opportunity because we did had misfortune incident linked to that. If you can just explain what is the mail-in ballot, and there is an opportunity for early registration or early voting. Sorry. So
Yes, yes.
can
So
we?
first of all, if thank you. So first of all, if you're not registered to vote, or if you're not sure, you can go on my website. We'll post it if it's not there now, but it should be, and check, put your name in, and you can check to see if you're registered to vote. If you haven't voted in the last 5 elections, they purge you, meaning they erase you from the list, and you have to re-register. So some people who haven't voted in the last 5 elections, I believe, or 5 years, I believe, you will be removed. So check to make sure you're registered. You have until October 13th to register to vote. Okay, that's number one. Number two, in the past, they used to be called absentee ballots. When you couldn't really make it to the polls on election day, you would go out on vacation. You would do an early vote, which is an absentee ballot. They changed that to mail, vote by mail. Vote by mail then was a selection. You had to fill out an application and request that the county sends you your ballot at home that you will fill out, sign, seal, and deliver. However, what happened was there was a lot of individuals that were involved in taking your vote by mail and never turned it in or changed some information, maybe the person you voted for. If it wasn't the person they liked, they never turned it in. So there was a lot of corruption, a lot of fraud that apparently the AG's office has been investigating. It's not the first time, it's happened before, it's happened to me before. So at the end of the day, when you get everyone this time is going to get a vote by mail, everyone. So when you get your vote by mail, please fill it out, select the person that you're voting for, you seal it, and you put it on the envelope. You have to seal the envelope as well, okay? And make sure that you are the only one that touches that vote by mail and turns it into the post office, into a mailbox near you. Go directly to drop it off in front of 401 Grand Street, and that is good. It'll count. If you give it to a stranger who knocks on your door asking for your vote by mail, be cautious. That's a red flag. That's what people got in trouble for in this last election. People have gotten arrested, and the AG's office apparently is not done doing their work. So let's not get involved in that in this election. And that's why we're here, unfortunately, on taxpayers' dime.
So I
This
want to
shouldn't have
ask
happened.
a question that, say, for instance, I did everything. I fill up my envelope and everything. It's all sealed and everything, and I'm sick. I'm a senior. I cannot drive to the you know the 401 Grand Street. Can I give it to someone else?
You can. You have an option of giving it to someone you trust, but they have to sign it. They have to sign it as a bearer, a messenger. And they can only do that twice. They can only do that twice. There was a young kid, and I'm gonna leave his name out, 22 years old. You can read it in the papers, who was in support of one of the candidates, and he had videotaped himself with a stack of vote by mails. And I believe that he's getting deported now. Okay, from what I heard, he's getting deported. He was of your community and the Bangladeshi community, and it's a shame. A young kid lost a bright future here in
Mhm.
Patterson. That hurts me. I've mentored many, over 300 youth in our Patterson Youth Council. Again, 25% of them Bangladeshi. That hurts me because that kid just lost a life. He just lost his life here in the United States. Don't do that. Don't put our kids at risk. I don't care what community you come from. Don't do that. Please, if you give it to somebody because you cannot go, you give it to a person, make sure that they sign it in front of you. And they can only do it twice. If they have it more than two times, they will reject it. They will reject it because that person shouldn't be delivering it. Make your count vote. I'm sorry, make your vote count by doing it yourself if you can. If you absolutely have any questions, you can reach us and go to our website or go call the county directly and you will get assistance.
Okay. I'll just repeat this in Bangla that আমাদের ভোট কিন্তু আমাদেরকে মেল ইন ব্যালট এবার আসবে আমাদের সবার জন্য ওইটা আমাদেরকে নিজে ফিল আউট করে 401 গ্র্যান্ড স্ট্রিটে ড্রপ করতে হবে আমরা অন্য কাউকে দিতে পারবো না বিকজ it's a federal crime to um,
Absolutely. Uh,
yeah
and
and
take away your status. Yeah.
and we have gone so far to get the ability to vote from hundreds of years
Can I
so
say something on that? That's very
please
important,
please
if I can. Um, as a community organizer, as a community organizer working with the Bangladeshi community and other communities in the city of Patterson, I've witnessed over 12, 15 years of individuals who have opened up stores, restaurants, what we call bodegas, right? Supermarkets, good families, good youth growing up. Now they're young men or women going to work, putting their effort in improving the community for the Bangladeshi community. They have worked so hard. They have built a reputation. They have built their mosque. They have gone to service. They help others. They have done so much, and the Bangladeshi community was getting all the credit and all the respect that they should have. Why is it that a few who are getting involved in this political process is really putting all of that at jeopardy? Okay, is really putting all that at jeopardy. I don't have anything personal against any of them at all, but it's obvious that there's a problem. And it's dividing communities because one person supports this person, the other person supports the other person, and now they don't speak. Now they see each other's in the street and they fight. And now the from a third person looking in, an outside community member looking in at the Bangladeshi community, they're going to say, is this what they represent? Is this who they are? And it's not. And it's not, because I've worked with many people who have done great things and continue to do great things. They're good people, and it's unfortunate that this is getting more attention than the good things that are happening in the Bangladeshi community. And I promise that I will change that. I promise I will try my hardest to work with those who want to work with me to make that happen. And I really want to give my offerings to you and to everyone who will give me a chance. Listen, if you don't like what I do in 4 years, vote me out. That's fine. But I guarantee you, you're going to beg that I come back.
okay thank you so much Eddie for that and Christina you're standing side by side with Eddie having said that, we this concludes our show for tonight. We are going to be bringing Eddie back again with another side of him, and looking forward to it. I wish you all the best. And আমাদের সবাইকে আপনাদেরকে জানাতে চাচ্ছি যে Eddie Gonzalez is running for second ward, and uh, let's hear what he has to say.
Thank
So,
you. Wassalamu alaikum, by the way.
thank you. So,
Thank you for the opportunity.
you're
Absolutely.
very
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Bye.